The White House says President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed on an immediate ceasefire for energy and infrastructure targets in the Russia-Ukraine war. According to Assosicted press, the White House described the move Tuesday as the first step in a movement to peace that it hopes will eventually include a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea and a full and lasting end to the fighting. Ukraine hasn't responded yet. Associated Press reporter Zeke Miller says Trump and Putin held a call for more than an hour on Tuesday, working out a three-step plan. The real test is going to be, does this sort of agreement in principle actually materialize? Do both sides cease attacks on energy and infrastructure sites in their respective countries? That will be the first trust-building exercise, so to speak. Of this, can they actually get what is an agreement in principle into something that takes effect on the ground, Miller said. The engagement is just the latest turn in dramatically shifting U.S. Russia relations as Trump made quickly ending the conflict a top priority, even at the expense of straining ties with longtime American allies who want Putin to pay a price for the invasion.
President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin wrapped up a more than 90-minute phone call where they agreed to begin to seek a limited ceasefire as the first step towards bringing about the end to Russia's more than 3-year invasion of Ukraine. That first step would include a halt on fighting on both sides, attacking on both sides of energy and infrastructure targets, which on both sides have been suffered severe damage over recent years. And then from there, the U.S. plan to extend to targets in the Black Sea as they try to rebuild economic corridors, and then finally a final complete ceasefire to that war. It is unclear yet just the extent to which the Ukrainian government is on board with that plan. They have proposed versions of that, but the devil will obviously be in the details. The real test is going to be, does this sort of agreement in principle actually materialize? Do both sides cease attacks on energy and infrastructure sites in their respective countries? That will be the first trust-building exercise, so to speak, of this. Can they actually get what is an agreement in principle into something that takes effect on the ground? And then from there, it will be the beginning of negotiations somewhere in the Middle East over extending that ceasefire to the maritime, and then ultimately back onto the ground. Really the first step, though, is can both sides sort of commit to this? Will there be some sort of hang-up before this limited ceasefire is implemented?
Protesters turned out at the Rhode Island State House in Providence to show support for Dr. Rasha Aloy, a doctor from Lebanon, who was sent back to that country after a federal judge ordered that she not be removed until a hearing could be held. According to Assosicted press, government lawyers have said customs officials did not get word until after Aloy was sent back to Lebanon. It's the latest deportation of a foreign-born person with a U.S. visa, after Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil, who helped lead protests of the Gaza war at Columbia University, was arrested and a doctoral student's visa was revoked. The Trump administration also transferred hundreds of immigrants to El Salvador even as a federal judge issued an order temporarily barring the deportations. Homeland Security officials on Monday said that Aloy openly admitted to supporting a Hezbollah leader and attending his funeral. The department's statement, posted on social media, provides a possible explanation for the deportation, which has sparked widespread alarm. Especially Stephanie Marzouk, Aloy's lawyer, said she would not stop fighting to get the 34-year-old doctor back in the U.S., to see her patients where she should be. Marzouk did not immediately return a request for comment surrounding Homeland Security's allegations that Aloy supported a Hezbollah leader. The Justice Department has also detailed its reasons for deporting Aloy in court filings, but a federal judge has sealed those documents. News outlets that were able to obtain those records before they were sealed report that Aloy had photos on her phone of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of the Lebanese militant group for the past 3 decades. The Boston Globe reported that she also had pictures of Hezbollah, fighters and martyrs, on her phone. Aloy was granted the visa on March 11 and arrived at Boston Logan International Airport on Thursday, according to a complaint filed on her behalf by a cousin in federal court. Aloy, a kidney transplant specialist who previously worked and lived in Rhode Island, was detained at least 36 hours, the complaint said. She was to start work at Brown University as an assistant professor of medicine. U.S. District Judge Leo Sorokin issued an order Friday that an in-person hearing be scheduled Monday, with Aloy brought to court. On Saturday, the cousin filed a motion saying customs officials willfully disobeyed the order by sending Aloy back to Lebanon. Lawyers for the government said in a court filing Monday that U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers at the Boston airport did not receive notice of the order until she had already departed the United States, the judge noted. They asked that the petition be dismissed. Aloy worked at Brown prior to the issuance of her H-1B visa, the complaint said. It said she has held fellowships and residencies at 3 universities in the U.S. A spokesperson for Brown said Aloy is an employee of Brown Medicine with a clinical appointment to Brown. Brown Medicine is a not-for-profit medical practice that is its own organization and serves its own patients directly. It is affiliated with Brown University's medical school.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Bring back Rasha, Aloy now!
Bring back Russia, Aloy now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Bring back Rasha, Aloy now!
Bring back Russia, Aloy now!
But despite the Trump administration trying to terrify, silence, and remove students and workers from the campuses and the streets, despite them searching through immigrants' phones for deleted pictures of political undesirables, we are here in the streets anyway. We are not cowering behind our phones. We are not putting away our keffiyehs. And we are here right now, and we are here to stay. We're going to stand up for our community, and we're going to be as loud as possible when they're under attack. Because Russia's deportation is not an isolated incident. It is a part of a broader pattern of political repression against those who have a different position than the U.S. empire, those who refuse to be complicit in genocide, and who refuse to support U.S. colonizing and cannibalizing the whole world.
Shame!